And it's the Rock Doctor coming at you live with another installment of Guitar Hack of the Week. This is volume number 34. So today, what I was covering was how to get some mileage out of one lick and end the lick on the right damn note. And so what's going on here is I'm using my backing track in A minor, number 1 again. And what I did was I looped a set of the chords from the first section over and over. So let me pull this over so you can see what's going on. Check it out. So what I did was I took this A minor to F change, that's 2 measures, and then that proceeded on to E minor to G, another 2 measures. Now here's what's going on. The lick that I played was the essential lick number 2. I'll outline it for you in a minute. But that lick lasts for 2 measures. The lick itself, the notes flow for the first measure, and then the final note is a chord tone of in this case, the one F that I'm pointing at here. Then I used the same lick again and made it work again. It'll work over E minor to G, but you have to end that lick on a chord tone of G. So let's talk about that. And so you got to know a little bit of stuff to pull this off. You have to know what notes are in an F chord. And look, I've got them up here. For an F chord, you can safely end on F, A, or C, and you'll sound like you know what you're doing if you end your lick on one of those 3 notes. For G, you've got the notes G, B, or D that are safe. And again, you can use your knowledge of your open chords to pull that stuff off. I like to tell my students, adults and kids, the same thing. Licks are really like sentences. And this particular type of lick, my 4 essential licks, all take this approach. The lick itself is a sentence that's incomplete at the end. So basically, think of it this way. Let me look at this A minor to F change. Think of the lick as a sentence. Hey everybody, look at the blank. And that same sentence will work over here for E minor to G. Hey everybody, look at the blank. Look at the G chord. Hey everybody, look at the blank, or look at the F chord. So the reason the lick will work, the same lick will work over all those chords, is the lick itself comes from the scale that contains those chords. As long as you've got the correct scale, your pentatonic scale is in the correct key, you can make this work. So now, what else can I tell you? The lick itself, I was using the home scale of the A pentatonic. Look, in the 5th position here. See it? Yeah. Right there. And I just stayed right there to keep things simple. Now let me outline the lick. Hope I don't knock my microphone over. There we go. Okay, we're good. All right, so this is essential lick number 2. The way I initially wrote it, or stole it, I should say, is this. Now let's talk about it as far as notes per beat. I've got 2 notes on a beat. Check it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. So there's 2 measures worth of lick there. Now what's important is what you put at the end. So let me outline now what I did there for the lick itself, and then I'll show you how I resolve it for each of the chords. Okay, so the lick itself, if you want to play this lick, you start out on the high E string and I pull off from 8 to 5. And then I go over to the B string and do the same thing. Then on the G, you can pull off from 8 to 7 to 5. And to finish it up initially, I usually ended on 7 on the D string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. However, you've got to know what your chord is underneath you so that you can change that last note to the proper note. Sometimes that A note works, sometimes it doesn't. So let's talk about that. I used in my playthrough, I used 3 examples to resolve to the F chord. 1 ended on F, 1 ended on A, and 1 ended on C. So let me play each of those. Here's the first one. The first one ends on F. Here we go. So you can see what I did there. I took the regular lick and I threw out that last note, the 7th fret of the D string. I threw it away. And I decided to find an F note somewhere inside that shape, and I found one on the B string, 6th fret. So I played this. Exact same lick, but I ended on F. Okay, another one that I use in the playthrough to end on the F, I hit an A note at the end. That's the regular one, pretty much. Check it out. Sure enough, there's an A note in an F chord. If you look at an open F, you can see. There it is. Okay, the third example for the F chord was a C note, and that lick would go like this. Check it out. I just stopped on the G string fifth fret. I played that note twice. 1 and 4 and 1. So there's that one. Now I used the same lick to cover the change E minor to G, and what I did was the first one I ended up on a G, the second one I ended on a B, and the third time around I ended on a D. So let me play all those. Same lick again. And of course now when we solo we don't play the same lick over and over, but we're trying to teach you how to use a lick, or it's not a one-trick pony, and you can use it over lots of chord changes, and you have lots of options for ending the lick. So, okay, so for the E minor to G change, ending on a G, I did this. That was kind of sneaky. What I did there was the last note, I turned into a G note. I ended up on the B string, 7th fret, which is F sharp, and I pushed it up a half step to make it a G. Yeah. See? All right, the next time around for the E minor to G change, I ended on a B note. That looked like this. Look. I slid back and found a B note on the G string 4th fret at the end. So I just threw out the last note with a B in there. Then the final time around when I played over E minor to G, I ended on a D note, another chord tone of G, like this. So I ended there on the 7th fret of the G string. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of it. You can make any lick pretty much as long as you're playing the right scale. If in other words, I hope you know how to use and how to find where to put your pentatonic scale for whatever key you're in. If not, check out some of my other videos. But you have to know the licks well enough to where you're not thinking about how to play the lick. You can say the lick. You can hear it in your head, and you're focusing more on what the chords are underneath, and you know how to stop that lick because you know what chord is underneath you at the time. So it's a timing thing. You've got 2 notes on a beat, and you know at the end of those 2 measures what the chord is going to be, so you can play the appropriate note. Because you can't just play the lick and hope when you stop you've got a good note. You might, but you might not, right? So yeah, you don't want to play like that. Now, as time goes on, you get more intuitive with it, and you can kind of wing it. But if you want to train yourself and save yourself some time, just do what I'm telling you here. You'll save yourself a couple years of banging your head against the wall, which is what I did. And so we're using logic here. We're taking one lick and figuring out how to stop it on a safe note. And it's always a chord tone of the chord that's directly underneath you. So you've got to be able to focus on that. All right. I think that's good enough. And so it's me again, the Rock Doctor. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, order me a pizza, find me a bass player. And I am out of here. I love you. Bye.